Welcome back, my wonderful friends, to our channel. If you are a fan of amazing dramas and captivating stories, you are exactly in the right place. In today's video, we have prepared a recap of an incredible series that will steal your heart from the very first moment and make you live every single detail alongside the characters. Before we dive into the events, please support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment below with your thoughts. Your support helps our family grow even bigger. Grab your favorite drink and let's begin. The show begins with John saying goodbye to his family. We discover that his father has received a promotion at work, so they are moving and leaving him alone in the house. His mother advises him, like all mothers do, to take out the trash, not to leave the lights on, to eat well, and not to make a mess in the house. John then pretends to be sad because he'll be left alone at home and tells them to hurry so they won't miss their flight. He even accompanies them to the car and waves goodbye as they drive away. As soon as they leave, he starts playing and celebrating as if his family had been restricting him. He goes back inside the house, starts eating and drinking, and throws his clothes on the floor until the house looks like a pile of garbage. It would have been fine if he had stopped there, but he also declares that the house is actually clean. Then he calls his friends to come over and keep him company. They arrive one after the other until there are 5 of them, and they start playing PlayStation, playing poker, and watching TV while eating and drinking as if the house belonged to their father. John, still pretending to be innocent, says, "Since I am the man of the house, I will eat the chicken." And his friends agree with him, despite their surprise as they eat. John tells them he learned from his mother that her friend's son had arrived from America and has nowhere to stay, so he will have to stay with them until he finds a place. His friends are shocked because there is no extra room, and they ask where he will stay. John, acting as a Democrat, says that is not my problem, and since I own the house, I get the only room, which leads to a fight because everyone wants their own room. John then says, "Stop it. Isn't it enough that I don't charge you rent, you troublemakers?" Then their friend Yang comes out of the room and asks about the cause of all this noise, asking them to lower their voices so he can sleep. But the fight continues with them pulling each other's hair until the doorbell suddenly rings. They think it's the new guy who is supposed to move in with them, but when they open the door, they find a neighbor asking if someone had gotten lost. They shut the door in his face and return inside, forgetting what they were fighting about. John says, "Now that we are full, let's eat again." He must mean that these are true friends, and they start talking about the young man who is supposed to arrive. John says his mother told him that his name is Alex, and he is Korean but was born and raised in America. They agree that he should share a room with someone who has a similar personality, but only John has his number. When they check his WhatsApp account, they see pictures of a cat and feel very disappointed. But then they see many pictures of him with girls, so John says no problem. He can stay with me. But his friend says, "My room is bigger, so he should stay with me." Suddenly, the doorbell rings again, and one of them goes to open it, only to find a beautiful girl saying, "Hello, I am Alex." He is shocked and slams the door shut. The girl is surprised by his behavior and rings the bell again, and this time, John and all his friends open the door and see the girl entering the house with her suitcase. They all feel confused and do not understand what is happening. The girl introduces herself as Alex and says she will be staying with them. John suddenly remembers the conversation he had with his mother when she told him after he woke up that her friend's daughter coming from America would come to stay, and she asked him to clean the house until she found another place. Alex laughs at the misunderstanding, saying that he thought it was a boy, but it turned out to be a girl. She introduces herself again as Korean and says she will be staying with them. John is shocked, introduces himself and his friends, and tells her that they are 5 boys and that it is inappropriate for her to stay with them because this is not New York. However, Alex says that it is fine, and that she is happy to stay with 5 boys her own age, believing they will get along together. But John refuses and says, "You must leave the house." However, Alex replies saying, "Your mother stole from me, so it is fine for you to stay in the house." Then John insists, saying, "I am the man of the house, and my word is final." After that, he calls his mother with full confidence, but when he returns, he is worried and says, "My mother told me that if Alex stays in the house, all your friends must leave." The friends then decide to flip a coin to see whether she should stay or if they should leave. They subsequently hold a meeting during which Alex listens to music until they finish. However, his friends feel uncomfortable and unable to make a decision, so they agree to postpone the matter until the next day. Later on, Alex asks about her room, and they all look at each other, knowing that someone must give up their room for her. In the end, John is forced to give up his room and sleeps in the same room with his friend, furious about what happened. Later that night, Alex asks John for toothpaste, and John replies, "I will buy it for you." But Alex responds, "I am not a child. I can buy it myself." She then leaves, and when she returns late, John gets worried and checks if she had left the house. He then sees Alex walking back home, followed by a neighbor. She hears the sound of a cat and goes to check on it, but she doesn't see anything. When she turns around, she bumps into someone and feels extremely terrified. It turns out the person is John, who apologizes apologizes for scaring her. Then they return to the house and she goes to her room to sleep. The next morning, Alex wakes up early and prepares breakfast. She then calls everyone to eat, and when John and his friends wake up, they are surprised by what she has done. They happily eat the food and agree to allow her to stay in the house. Later, John starts moving his belongings out of his room, and Alex begins organizing her things and making the bed. John is surprised by the shoes she owns. That night, they have dinner together and talk about their experiences. Alex asks them if they studied, and each of them shares what they have learned. One of them studied cinema, and the other arts. Alex seems very happy with their friendship and shares with them that she studies mechanical engineering. John and his friends are surprised because this is a difficult major for girls, but one of them named Yang, who also studies the same major, gets annoyed and leaves. We then see Alex adapting to Korean food, especially spicy peppers. She later leaves to get some water, but she accidentally drinks ginger juice from a bottle, causing her to spit it in Yang's face. John laughs and Alex tries to apologize, saying she had brushed her teeth, but Yang does not respond and hands her water to drink instead. The next morning when Alex wakes up, she finds the house in a state of chaos. John is sleeping on the couch, food is spilled on the floor, the bathroom is filthy, the house smells awful, and the laundry is full of dirty clothes. She feels nauseous. That night, she tries to sleep in her room, but the noise coming from the others disturbs her. When she steps out, she sees them playing PlayStation and says that it is a crime to make noise at this hour, as it is not good. But John replies, "It's only 3 a.m. The night hasn't even started yet." Yang then gets up and unplugs the power cord, saying, "I want to sleep. I have a lecture tomorrow morning." He then says to Alex, "You cannot live with these people." At that moment, Alex feels that she is suffering. The next day, she writes a letter of rules and wakes them up, demanding they follow them. But they are still groggy from sleep and ask, "Why are you waking us up this early? It's only 7 a.m. After reading the rules, they see that she wants them to keep the house clean at all times, forbids them from sleeping in the middle of the day, and bans them from making noise at night. However, they refuse and hold a vote to decide whether or not to follow the rules. Then everyone returns to their rooms to sleep. But Alex is moved by the words, and they exchange glances as the atmosphere turns romantic. John, upon seeing them like this, assumes there is a relationship between them and hides to avoid being seen. The following day, Alex is still in a state of shock and cannot stop thinking about what happened the previous night. She is also surprised that Yang occupies her thoughts all day. John comes and sits next to her and turns on the TV, where they see a romantic scene in a movie. He tells her that there is nothing wrong with love, but Alex feels anxious, thinking he is talking about her, and leaves. John feels confused by her sudden change in behavior. Alex tries to avoid Yang whenever possible, but every time she sees him, she gets flustered and quickly retreats to her room, feeling embarrassed. On the other hand, Yang is also constantly thinking about Alex. When John sits next to him, he begins talking to himself, which surprises even John. Alex feels frustrated and doesn't talk much until one of her friends comes and asks her to play PlayStation with him. Her mood instantly improves and she plays the game happily. Yang sees them playing and feels jealous. After they finish, Park asks her to help him choose a gift for the girl he loves. Alex begins to think to herself, and at that moment, she notices one of her friends thinks that the gift he brought is meant for her because he likes her, and tells all her friends about this. But Alex assures them that there is nothing between them. She then takes Park aside to talk, and he shows her a necklace he bought for the girl he loves. Alex tells him she does not love him, but he clarifies that he loves a girl from the university, not her. He also tells her that he knows she likes Yang, then leaves. Alex is shocked by his words and loudly denies that she likes Yang. At the exact moment, Yang overhears her. But he says nothing. He tells her to go inside and not stand outside alone. Alex feels embarrassed and tries to explain her situation to him, but he goes inside and leaves her. The next morning when Alex wakes up, she finds a necklace on the bedside table next to a small note, but the note falls without her noticing. Then she remembers Park saying he would bring the necklace as a thank you gift. When she goes out, she sees Park looking nervous, and he tells her that he is on his way to give the gift to the girl he loves and confesses his feelings. Then he leaves. Alex asks the others to help clean the house. Initially they refuse, but eventually she convinces everyone to clean their rooms. Alex stands in the kitchen trying to place some things on a shelf, but she cannot reach it. Yang comes to help her, but Alex insists she can reach it because she is tall. She tries again, but is still unable to reach, so Yang laughs at her behavior. Then he helps her clean. Later, Alex goes to her room to tidy it up, finds the necklace, and tries to put it on. Yang helps her fasten the necklace, but when he does, he sees it and feels jealous. He tries to create some distance between them by pretending to clean the house. While cleaning, he accidentally places the note under the bed without noticing. After they finish cleaning, they sit in the living room exhausted. Alex says she wishes she could go on a date like Park. One of their friends receives a phone call and answers it nervously. He discovers that he has won the art competition he applied for, so he rushes outside to share the good news with his friends. friends. But then Park arrives looking upset and tells them that he has been rejected. This ruins the mood, and they all drink together to forget what happened. Park laments because after finally gathering his courage to confess his love, another guy had beaten him to it and done it before him. He shouts, saying he waited for the right time but was too late. His friends advise him to tell the person he loves before it is too late, and not to make the same mistake he did. Park storms out angrily, and Yang follows him to comfort him. His friend tells him to confess his love to Alex, but Yang feels anxious and lies, saying he does not like Alex. Alex overhears this and is hurt by his words. They return home and start playing a game of truth or dare. When it is Yang's turn, he is asked if he likes someone, but he avoids answering and chooses to drink instead. The next morning, Yoon and Yang are in the kitchen, and Park wakes up and starts drinking. They walk past him without speaking, so he asks what is wrong with him, thinking he smells bad. Yoon asks if he remembers what he did last night, but Park says he does not remember. We learn afterwards that during the game the previous night, the question fell on him, but no one allowed him to ask a question, so he got angry and started playing around. Suddenly, his leg gives out and he falls on his friends, causing Alex to drop a hot pot that burns her hand. We see that her hand is now bandaged, and Park approaches her to apologize, saying he did not mean it. At the same time, we see Yang worrying about Alex and wanting to give her medicine, but he finds her sitting in the living room. Alex then arrives and sees the medicine, realizing that Yang brought it because he saw her injury last night. She thanks him, and he sits next to her to check on her condition. She thanks him for taking care of her. Yoon then asks if they could go out for a change of scenery, and Alex agrees. They leave the house together. Yang feels jealous and stays home, annoyed. His friend notices his mood and asks what happened, but Yang does not respond and goes to his room. Yoon asks where the necklace came from, and Alex tells him that Park brought it because he helped him with the gift. However, it was ultimately rejected. Yoon asks who she loves, but Alex feels shy and doesn't know what to say. Yoon says he noticed during the game that Alex likes Yang. Alex asks him not to tell anyone. They both leave and see a neighbor on the street wearing a similar necklace. When they return home, Park asks where the necklace came from, and he says he found it at the door and thought his friend had brought it and left it in his room. They all wonder who brought the necklace, and everyone denies wearing it. Park says there was a note with it, and they start searching the room. Yang finds the note, and it turns out that the neighbor was the one who brought it, and that the necklace is the same one. They are surprised by this behavior and decide to ask him about the gift and why he gave it. They all go to his house because they have often seen him near Alex. However, one of them fears he might be a dangerous person and suggests informing the police, but his friends advise against it, saying it is unnecessary. When they enter, they find out he is a nice person and has a dog. He explains to them that the dog had been missing and that he had made the necklace himself. It was meant to be a gift, and he had asked because of the confusion. He apologizes for the misunderstanding, and they agree to be friends, but they are surprised when they learn he is 38 years old. John apologizes for the misunderstanding. When Alex returns to her room, she looks for the necklace to keep it as a souvenir. During this time, she receives a call from America informing her that she has been accepted into the training program. Alex rejoices but is surprised to learn that she must be in America within a week. Yang comes to accompany her to the neighbor's house so she wouldn't be alone. When they arrived, they find that John had brought 5 different types of ice cream. Alex says she will buy some when they return to the neighbor's house. Yang agrees. When the neighbor sees them together, he gives them 2 rings, thinking they are in love. Alex is surprised and says there is no relationship between them, but she thanks him and accepts the gift. They go to the supermarket to buy ice cream. On the way back home, Alex says she initially thought Yang was arrogant because he speaks very little, but she later realized he is a kind and gentle person. Yang is pleased with her words. Finally, he asks if they could go out for dessert the next day, but Alex thinks he means a date and suggests their friends join them. Yang insists that it will be just the 2 of them, and she feels happy. When she goes to her room, she remembers that if she misses the training program, someone else will be chosen. She is upset by the idea of leaving. Yang spends the whole day thinking about Alex, happy that he asked her out. The next day, Alex gets ready for her departure. She puts on makeup, changes her hairstyle, and wears new clothes to look her best. Yang waits for her, also fully dressed up. They go to a place where they can buy all kinds of sweets, and Alex feels happy, laughing at Yang's shyness as he avoids eye contact with her. They go to the supermarket, and Yang buys a lot of chocolate. Alex is very happy being with him. Then they go to a park and enjoy the sweets. Yang accidentally touches her hand, making him feel shy. He encourages himself, wanting to confess his feelings, but Alex tells him she must go to America for training. Yang is surprised and gets angry, saying congratulations while pretending to be calm. Then he stands up and leaves. Alex returns home upset and looks at the ring. She talks to John and asks him if he has ever been in a long-distance relationship. John says yes, but it did not work out. Then Alex gathers her friends and tells them she is going back to America. They all feel upset because they have grown close to her, and they decide to throw her a farewell party. They drink together that night and ask her not to leave. Yang says that this is her future and she must go. They eat cake and reminisce about the first day they met until she became part of their group. They take many pictures as memories. The next day, Alex packs her suitcase. Yang offers to take her to the airport, but Alex refuses, saying she doesn't want to burden him. Yoon advises her to express her feelings to Yang because he is shy. Alex writes him a note saying she loves him. Yang stands at his bedroom door, wanting to confess his feelings and say goodbye to her, but he changes his mind. Alex goes to Yang's room and gives him chocolate. When he opens it, he sees the note that says I love you, making him very happy. Alex then boards the plane bound for America. Her friends bid her a sad farewell. Finally, Yang arrives, knocks on the car window, and hands her chocolate with a note saying, "And I love you too." Alex feels overwhelmed with joy, but is also sad to leave. When she returns from America after the training, Yang greets her at the door holding a ring. She is delighted to see him and says she will not leave. Her friends see this from a distance and welcome her back, happy to have her as part of their group. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Until we meet again soon, don't forget to show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye, my wonderful friends.